DR Congo might be in a very big trouble. Now, how am I saying this? Now, this is to inform the entire public that Malaysia has been banned by FIFA for feeding 7 ineligible players in their international games played against Cape Verde, Palestine, and Singapore. Now, what does this Malaysia scene have to do with Nigeria? It's such questions we'll be answering in today's video, because FIFA is saying that international competition is not like club competition, whereby you go and buy players from all other clubs to come and represent your club. This is international football, and the players that are representing have to complete the process, because it's like they are playing for their father's land. So many believe that when it comes to football, FIFA doesn't get involved in a country's own domestic law or national law. This has been the opinion or the argument of so many persons, and some of these persons who are of this opinion are Nigerians. They are criticizing NFF, that NFF should learn to accept defeat and let DR Congo be. The persons believe that as long as DR Congo didn't broke any of FIFA's rule, then they will certainly win the case against Nigeria. Now, what are FIFA's law? Now, firstly, a player have to obtain a passport of that new nation they want to represent. And secondly, as long as that player have not capped for another country at the senior team level. When I say cap, I mean he hasn't played for another country in the senior team level. Then such player will be cleared by FIFA to represent that new nation he wants to represent in an international competition. That's true, and that's what so many persons believe, that as long as those players of DR Congo didn't broke any of these rules, then they will certainly win that case against Nigeria, because Nigeria are accusing DR Congo of their own domestic law, which is dual citizenship. But now, let me ask, this school of thought that believe that FIFA doesn't get involved in the country's domestic law, is that really true? Well, I'm going to answer that question for those of you who are watching the video right now. Now, if you should look at the 7 players which led to the ban of Malaysia, you will discover that those players, they also have the passport of Malaysia, but their only offense was that they have not completed the domestic rights, meaning the requirement of all what it takes them to be a citizen of Malaysia. That was why they were banned. That was their only offense, and that was the reason why Malaysia were banned. And the points they got against those teams they played against with these ineligible players were revoked, and they are awarded as a win to Cape Verde, Palestine, and Singapore. So you can see that those persons who are saying that FIFA doesn't get involved in a country's domestic law, that is not true. Because if you look at it, you will discover that same way those Malaysia's players had the passport of Malaysia, but they didn't complete the domestic right of being a citizen of Malaysia. It is that same sin that manifested between DR Congo and Nigeria, in which NFF are saying that DR Congo doesn't accept dual citizenship. And those players, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and some others, NFF are saying that they didn't complete the process, meaning they didn't renounce their foreign citizenship before the game was played against Nigeria. So you can see that that made these players ineligible, because they didn't renounce their foreign citizenship before the game was played against Nigeria. So putting all this together, you will see that NFF has a very strong case against who? Against DR Congo. But so many of us are just criticizing NFF because we don't really know the rules. So many persons who are in Nigeria who are criticizing NFF, so many of us doesn't even know that when it comes to international football, such rules exist. Many of us do not know, because we are not reading and we are not looking at history, of how similar cases like this were decided. Because if we know, you will discover that we will not be throwing all these critics at NFF. So many of us who are Nigerians were operating from ignorance, because so many of us who are Nigerians who are criticizing NFF, you will discover that we are just taking the hatred that we have for the bad government and the corruption in Nigeria to this football, and that's not really right. So I think that we are getting it wrong. And if you look at Malaysia, you will discover that they were fined $450,000 by FIFA for what? For lying to them. And looking at this Malaysia case, you will discover that they were not only banned by FIFA, a fine of $450,000 was imposed on them by FIFA. Why? Because FIFA are saying that you people tricked us into clearing your players. So you can see that obtaining a passport alone is not enough. A player afterwards have to fulfill the domestic right of that nation you want to represent, meaning being a full citizen of that nation you want to represent. So you can see that this same Malaysia scene is similar to the case between Nigeria and DR Congo. Because like I said before, a player like Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe and some others, and even Otomaswaku, these players, they have foreign citizenship. And now, speaking on the petition that has been made by NFF, they are saying that as at the time that the game was played against Nigeria, these players have not renounced their foreign citizenship. So NFF are having a serious case. But so many of us do not know. Because like I said before, if you look at how Malaysia case has been decided and the punishment that was inflicted on them, you can see that NFF are having a very strong case. And Nigeria really stand a big chance. And DR Congo, on the other hand, may be in a very big mess. So you can see that this Malaysia scene is very similar to this case of Nigeria and DR Congo, because if you look at the petition that was made by NFF, you will discover that the tag that was labeled on it, NFF petition that FIFA, you people were deceived by DR Congo. You will discover that the heading, the tag that was labeled on the petition that was made by NFF, it was clearly stated that FIFA, you people were deceived by DR Congo Football Association into clearing those players. So let's allow FIFA to do their job. Yeah, that's my opinion. Thank you very much.